Hello everyone, James here, and today we'll be talking about episode 8 of 90 Day Fiance's Hunt for Love. In today's episode, Jennifer's caught in another blatant lie about her hooking up with Rob. She gets exposed for it by Tiffany and Elise during a girls' night out, and Jennifer responds in the most Jennifer way possible, by refusing to take any accountability and resorting to childhood mockery.
No, you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Stop lying.
I'm not lying.
Bit of a shorter video this week as I have some other things going on, but doesn't make the content any less juicy, so let's get into it. This week's episode sees the cast split into two groups. The fellas getting together for a good old boys' night out, where, believe me, they have their own share of problems, as normies Carlo and Jay almost get into a whole-ass fist fight over the love square that is Tiffany's love life right now. But today, we'll be focusing on the ladies as they get ready for their girls' night out. The ladies are in a bus together, all discussing their current relationship statuses. We're getting the scoop on Tiffany and her situation right now. Nikki, the girl that went on a date with Usman last episode, says that she's liking Usman more as a friend right now and isn't really getting the romance vibes from him. Probably because Usman was only using her as a pawn to get Cortney jealous, so good that she picked up on that. And hearing Nikki say that she's only getting friend vibes from Usman, Chantel, in a silly tone of voice, says, "I guess he's not in love after the first date." Saying it kind of tongue-in-cheek, as if that's kind of the obvious outcome of a first date. When Jennifer chimes in and says,
We've only been here 1 week.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Wait, Cole?
ugh, that's kind of gross. So not only is Jennifer acknowledging that she is aware that Cole's been completely head over heels in love with her since day one and has been leading him on anyway, but the way she's using that as a joke right now, to me, that sounds like she's either bragging to everyone about how she got a guy so invested in her, as if that says something about how desirable she is or something, or she's saying that not to brag, but to make fun of Cole. That would be completely ridiculous for someone to be head over heels on the first day. Cole is. That's the only way I see it. And between bragging about yourself and making fun of Cole, I don't know which one makes her look worse. Elise then jumps into the conversation. You might recall Elise called Jennifer out last episode because people have been assuming Elise has been sleeping with Rob when in reality it's been Jennifer, allegedly. So she brings that up again with Jennifer now in the bus and tries to tell Jen how she feels. She doesn't care if Jennifer and Rob hook up, she doesn't care at all what they're doing. She only cares that due to Jennifer's sneakiness and lack of transparency about what she's doing with Rob, people then assume Elise is the one getting involved and it's hurting her reputation. A very reasonable point to make, I think. However, this is how Jennifer responds.
Everyone's coming to me thinking,
You know what is crazy? I heard that you visited him today. You were having sex with him.
Oh my god. So let me get this straight. Not only does Jennifer not respond to Elise's point at all, makes no acknowledgement of her current situation, doesn't take any responsibility for how these rumors might be going around or how Jennifer's been playing a part in it, completely sidesteps Elise's entire point by interrupting her and accusing her again of the exact thing Elise is complaining about. Just pure BS deflection. Wow, you're upset? People have this false idea about you sleeping with Rob? Wow, you know what's crazy? I heard you slept with Rob today. Like, no you fucking didn't. I don't believe for a second that that's an actual rumor she heard today. To me, it seems way more likely that she's just coming up with this out of thin air, in this moment in particular, to just deflect any kind of heat or criticism she's getting. Elise obviously completely denies these claims, and Jennifer says, yeah, I heard that. So, wow, I guess we can't believe any rumors going around the resort, huh?
So there's a
From
lot
hell.
of rumors here, like, we don't even know what is true and what is not.
You see the way she smiles and laughs when she says all this? If she really did hear a genuine rumor about Elise and Rob hooking up right now, why would she choose this particular moment when Elise is trying to explain herself to bring that up and to be smiling and happy while doing it? You'd either hear someone explain that they're in this tough spot and go, wow, that's all crazy, that there's so many rumors. I haven't heard a rumor today that you hooked up. Like, wow, I can't believe it. You could do it as a sign of sympathy, or you could bring it up strategically as a tactic to both deflect responsibility and to poison the well, purposely spreading false rumors about Elise in an attempt to discredit the rumors about Jennifer. Of course, Elise isn't having it and thinks Jennifer is full of shit and asks Jennifer directly, okay, so you heard this rumor, huh? Who told you?
Tell me who said that, because I will confront them, and you know that's a lie.
And now realizing she's backed in the corner, you already know how Jennifer's gonna respond.
And you know that's a lie.
I just heard it.
Yes.
Oof, caught red-handed. She makes up a lie, she's asked to give her sources, And now backed in the corner, she puts her tail between her legs, breaks eye contact with Elise, looks down and away, and half under her breath says, "I just heard it."
And you know that's a lie.
I just heard it.
Yes.
Does that look like innocent behavior to you? The buses eventually arrive at their club destinations, and the two groups, the guys and the girls, go to their respective club to enjoy the rest of the night together and to get in a few fights. But before we get back in the drama and see Jeniffer get called out again in front of everybody, I want to take a brief break and give my best wishes to Colt. You might recall at the end of last week's episode, the episode ended on a cliffhanger with someone in the cast being carted off to the hospital in a stretcher, and it turns out that person was Colt. If you haven't been watching the season that closely, then you may not be aware, but Colt's been sporting a pretty nasty scar on one of his legs, an injury that came from a trampoline accident a few years ago during the filming of The Last Resort, which resulted in a broken leg, a torn meniscus, and multiple surgeries. It was really bad. And although we don't know all the details, it seemed like what happened on the show was that earlier in the day of filming, Colt had gone over to Courtney's room to have some kind of breakfast or hangout, and unfortunately, when he left her room, because it had been raining and the floor was wet, he slipped and fell and badly re-injured that same leg. He seemed like he was in a lot of pain. The medics were giving him various shots in his back, so that's usually not a great sign. But both Courtney and Jeniffer joined Colt in his ride to the hospital. Courtney because she was there at the time and felt really bad about it, and Jeniffer because she realized that a lot of the medical staff may not speak English and Colt doesn't speak Spanish, so she went to translate for him, which I think is a really cool move from Jeniffer, and I do want to give her a lot of props for that. Now, I don't know the details of to what extent everything broke or anything like that. I don't really like looking too far into the details of someone else's medical situation, so I just want to give my sincerest good wishes and heartfelt energy that Colt recovers and ends up back on his feet okay. Really unlucky, really unfortunate, and wishing him the best. And back to the show. The girls arrive at their club, ready to celebrate their girls' night out. Courtney's still at the hospital, but Jennifer's back. And Jeniffer immediately teaches everyone a special toast to guarantee you'll never have bad sex again in your whole life. Would you like to know how to do this magical love ritual? Well, wait no longer. So what you do is you take your glass, usually filled with alcohol and not a water bottle. You look in each other's eyes and say the magic words, toast. And then, and this part's really important, you touch the glass on the table and then you take a drink. That's just called toasting. That's literally the most generic, basic toast I've ever heard of. What are you talking about? And now she's saying you're only guaranteed good sex for 7 years? What about a lifetime? I feel ripped off. Jeniffer continues leading the dance, insisting everyone talk about their deepest sexual desires and weirdest sexual encounters. It's always about sex with her.
You have to put a strap on and
I love that.
And I wanted to scooch this along and get to the drama that's about to happen, but I do have to mention that Jeniffer asked everyone else what their deepest sexual fantasy is, and her answer was that she wanted to be with a trans.
I want to be with a trans.
with a what?
Trans.
Because
Wait,
I don't
wait,
know,
wait.
I find them so sexy.
You want to be with a trans woman?
Chantel clarifies, does that mean you want to be with a trans woman? Because, you know, just saying trans, like that's all the same thing. I don't know, maybe Jeniffer being from Colombia or a different culture, I don't know how her culture sees this kind of concept, so I'm trying to give her a bit of benefit of the doubt there. But when she just says trans, I don't know what that means, and the lack of specificity when she says that kind of just screams ignorance to me.
I just want and tits. The best of both worlds.
Only defines trans by their sexual organs, so very objectifying. But everyone's having a good time, they're drinking, they're laughing, when suddenly Tiffany decides enough is enough. She takes a timeout on the good times everyone is having, turns to Jen, and essentially says that as much fun as everyone is having right now, there's still some unresolved beef, and we should squash it here and now. Not only has Jeniffer been a two-timing snake, and I suspect that a lot of the girls may be getting kind of sick of her overly dramatic nature, making everything about herself, and treating the guys in ways that they may morally disagree with. But Tiffany's a little extra mad at Jeniffer because throughout this whole time at the resort, Cole has been going to Tiffany to talk about his relationship problems. And while initially Tiffany didn't super mind that, nowadays it's happening nonstop. And instead of going to Cole, I guess, to tell him directly, hey, you gotta kind of back off or talk to Jeniffer about this, like fix your shit, Cole, quit coming up to me. Instead of doing that, she's approaching Jeniffer and essentially telling her, hey, your boys out here are constantly talking to me because they got a bunch of problems with you. Maybe you should fix your shit, Jeniffer.
But what you know,
don't
you're
have an
respectful
attitude with
and then I will
me yet
say
because I
something.
am speaking to you. Why is he coming to me?
Jennifer says both Cole and Rob offer different things, so she'd like to explore both options. Again, as I explored in my last video, not the issue people have with Jennifer. And then Jennifer casually explains that the reason she's not more into Cole is because Cole is a straight up stalker.
They come into my room
Jennifer,
at
if you
4
say
a.m.
this now.
knocking at my door, waiting for me in the hallways in the middle of the night.
Listen, I've been calling Cole out for multiple videos now on this channel, calling him a controlling freak that may end up getting abusive. I already felt that way about him, but now she's saying that he comes up to her room at 4 a.m. knocking on her door, waiting for her in the hallway in the middle of the night? What? Thank God Jennifer's describing this as problematic behavior. She's not excusing it, but for him to even continue to be in the discussion here and say, well, I like Rob and Cole and I really like Cole. Just a shame that he's been acting so weird and stalkerish lately. Like, well, excuse me, waiting for you in the hallway in the middle of the night? That's some truly psycho shit. Nobody should be doing this. The only thing I can imagine is if she's exaggerating or embellishing the situation. Maybe she frequently hangs out with Cole at 4 a.m. at each other's rooms, so like that's not maybe the weirdest behavior or something. But considering everything else we've seen from Cole at this point, then I don't know. Elise, again, very kindly, says, great, you have trauma, you know, me too. But regardless of your situation, you are leading Cole on, and I think you should be honest with him. And Tiffany chimes in again. Jennifer, if you think he's too into you and is getting kinda weird after only 10 days, then what's gonna happen in the future? And if he's already this controlling and obsessive, then maybe you shouldn't be leading him on. Breadcrumbing anybody to milk attention out of them is already a shitty thing to do and taking advantage of someone else's emotions. But when you do it to someone that you already acknowledged has been completely in love with you since day one, why do you want him to be even more into you? Even from a self-preservation aspect, let the man go. Elise then breaks through the argument and makes an ultimatum with Jennifer. Either you're gonna admit that you made up this rumor about me sleeping with Rob earlier today and that you were just bullshitting your way out of taking responsibility, or you tell me exactly who told you this lie and we're gonna go confront them directly.
So you're gonna either own it or we're gonna go talk to that person. Straight up.
And after a pause, Jennifer tells us who said it. And of course,
But Cole said it.
she says it was Cole. Now, I'm not saying she's a liar, who knows? But sure is convenient that out of everyone on the resort, the one person she claimed to hear this rumor from is the one person she could get to lie for her. The only person in the entire retreat that has any motivation to lie on Jennifer's behalf. Very convenient, I think. Elise doesn't buy it at all and is like, really? Cole said that of all people. And Jennifer says, well, I don't know. Maybe that's how this gossip works. You know, I'm usually above gossip.
Usually I'm not into gossips. I don't even care.
I never get involved in this kind of thing. I mean, what do you think of me? You think I'm the kind of person to go up to a bunch of people I just met on this TV show and spread stories about how my ex paid a stripper to dance for me? Who do you think I am? Elise and Tiffany again try to explain things to Jennifer. Jennifer puts her hand up and says, nope, you guys are done. You guys are talking to me as if Cole is my dog. And Tiffany goes, yeah, we're talking about him like that because you're treating him like that.
And he
Why are
goes
you
to your
treating
place
him like a
and
dog
does
then?
that.
Or
It's not
something?
my fault. You treat him like your puppy then, Jennifer.
He's not my puppy.
And as they're explaining to Jennifer, she's just smiling and laughing.
She's catching the hook and you're like, off. And maybe that's why you're
And Jennifer's final defense to all these accusations of how she reels guys in, treats them like shit, treats them like dogs, is that maybe that's what the guys love.
you know, learn
Maybe
what
that's
to do.
what they love.
Jennifer, no.
That's what they like.
But no.
The other girls push back and say, no, you're just treating them poorly. What are you talking about? And Jennifer, happy as can be, just goes, no, they love it. They clearly love it. Look how they flock to me.
You're gonna say it. They love it.
Better.
You really love it. Cheers for that.
Just an absolutely disgusting thing to say. The fact that Jennifer is not able to give a single inch to any of these criticisms, regardless of how reasonable and nice they are, really tells me a lot about just how unwilling Jennifer is to take even a modicum of accountability. She deflects, she makes up blatant lies to take the heat off, and then when she's cornered further, without any other options, other than, of course, taking accountability or practicing any amount of introspection, for her to just hand wave all the criticisms away and say, you know, I guess I am mistreating them, but they must just like it. I can't be doing anything truly wrong. If I can't excuse away my actions or misrepresent them anymore, then I guess my actions are actually good. Ha ha ha, they like to be mistreated. Why else would they be with me? I don't know, Jennifer. Why do you say you keep going to guys that are controlling and like to cage you? Why do you have a history of being with narcissistic and controlling men that mistreat you over and over again, even into your mid-30s, if you didn't like it? Because deep down, you want to be controlled and treated like shit and caged. You must like it. You see how ridiculous this sounds? You think that's just because someone has a pattern in their romantic attachments to be with someone unavailable or mistreats them? That's because their genuine, authentic self really wants that kind of dynamic, and not because they might be a traumatized individual stuck in some kind of repetition compulsion, always circling the drain, trying to fix some kind of core issue with their emotional attachments? You think that Cole really wants to be mistreated by you? And we think that because he's getting crazy, obsessive, and stalkerish and controlling? You know, like any kind of normal, sane person gets when they genuinely like someone? No, of course not. Best case scenario for you and your shitty behavior, Jennifer, is that you've trapped a guy who has some kind of pathological need to save a hoe, and they're stuck in a cycle of walking through glass and disrespecting themselves just for a chance of sniffing your farts. That's all I got for today's video. Let me know what you thought about Jennifer, Cole, and Rob in the comments down below. A big thank you to all of your channel members, with an extra special thank you to my producer, Nancy Jones. And until next time, I'll see you later.